I met Al so many years ago, our first interaction was like, why does he talk like that?
Hey, did I get older and little Debbie, she just keeps staying young? I don't know.
And for me, with Al, it was love at first sight. He came walking over to the coffee booth and he sauntered on over and he came up and he looked at me and he said, I was told to come over here and be nice to you. Is there a reason for that? So yeah, it was on, and then within 2 days we were camping at his house for a week and eating sausage and watching porn, but that's a different story. Not for now.
This reminds me of prison. He said there was just nothing that Al couldn't do, and that was super inspiring to me. His outpouring of love, his ability to give to so many so selflessly, and to bring us all together.
Selfless fucking man. If you're like, hey man, I'm stuck in a ditch right now, he'd be like, where are you at?
You pulled me out.
Yeah.
You're my life.
Every single person in this room, he would bend over backwards to go and help you. And that is who Al was. And that is who Al will always be in our hearts. He was just selfless. And he was funny as a motherfucker. I mean, come on. Dude.
First time I met Al, we were sitting at the saloon probably a decade ago, and the server was offering us some new dessert menu things, and I said, oh, this is really good. Like, Al, you should try this. And he looks at me and he says, you don't know fucking shit about dessert.
Just an amazing person. Hard to explain until you were around him, but beautiful, beautiful person. Incredible carpenter. I'm a carpenter, but I didn't even want to show him what I did when I see what he did, because he was so good. He had a perfect eye for tight, clean stuff. And I don't know what Barnett's going to do without him, because they were two peas in a pod, and he was always there for Barnett.
One of the cool things about Al, he was really clear about, what do we got to do? Let's be family. What do we got to do? And one of the things you do is you just keep showing up, right? And, one of the things I think about, one way of saying I love you is to say I'm of you, right? You feel that? That's part of saying I love you is I'm of you. So, if we love Al, we're of Al, and if Al's gone, we have a job to do to carry Alness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? What's something that you love about Al? You go, I can carry that part. Let's all be a little more Al.
Can you hear me now? Anyway, I wouldn't be here without Rev and Al. I was going through some health issues, and my girlfriend Jane called Barnett. He said, we need some help. He's stuck and he's got to get out of where he is, and he's fading fast. And Reverend Al jumped in his car, drove down to the low desert, picked me up. He knew I was kind of political and supported veterans, but he thought I was a veteran. So he picked us up and he took us to the Veterans Hospital in Loma Linda. And it was like, I'm in my American flag pants, and people there are going, what are you weren't a veteran, what are you doing here? And it was like, I thought we're supposed to go to Loma Linda. So we got back in the van and went to Loma Linda.
And there was Rev Al every moment, every step of the way. And not only that day, but from beyond that day.
Next day, I went into a coma for a couple of weeks and somehow came out of it. And without Al's energy to do whatever he could to make this happen, I wouldn't be here today.
It was extraordinary, and I thought I was the only one, but I'm only one person whose life that he touched in an extraordinary way, and he will be my hero forever. I love you, Al.
So I love the guy forever. I knew him over the years throughout the music festivals because I'd see him, and thank you, Barnett, for giving us decades worth of wow. But Al was a major part of it, and I knew him, not as necessarily a friend, but as an acquaintance. But he always had a smile on his face. He was always willing to be there in the moment for whatever. And love to Al, Reverend Al. He preached. He didn't have to preach. He just led by example. Yeah. And anybody that was around Al felt that. And we love him forever. And we gotta continue his energy for the rest of our lives, because it was all about bringing people together and making them part of a major piece of the puzzle, because we're all a piece of the puzzle, but we have to participate. We've got to share, we got to love, we got to associate, we got to communicate, and we got to love. Love you, Reverend Al. Yeah. Always, forever.
God, where do I start? Me and Al shared a love of a lot of things. Piles of things, generally. Rusty things, mechanical things. He was like the MacGyver of all men, and kind of one of those dudes who could just put anything together with a pile of pieces. He's one of the kindest, most caring, community-minded people I've ever run into. He touched me in so many ways, with my children, with my friends and my family, and was just like the ultimate equalizer for just connecting dots and building bridges, rich or poor, whatever, young or old. He was the man, and he will never ever be forgotten. I love you, Al, and everything you've showed me, and I'll honor it.
Al was always like an uncle to me. Since before I could even really remember, he was always there at Joshua Tree, bringing me and my brother donuts, constantly telling to keep him away from Dad because he'd eat them all. But that man, his willpower to do anything, he could get anything done if he put his mind to it.
Al always had a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Like, if you never were at Butterfly, his old place, it was 20 acres of stuff. That's because he saw the value in each piece, everything. And he was that way with people. If you look around this room, there are so many different kinds of people from all walks of life. And that's because Al saw the value in everybody. It didn't matter what your history was. It didn't matter how many mistakes you had made in life or what happened. What mattered was right now and who you were right now. And as long as you were trying to be better, that's all that mattered. He saw the value in everybody. I don't think I've ever met another person who could really take somebody off the streets, some hoodlum kid, some asshole, whatever, and turn them around and bring love and light out of them. I mean, it sounds so cheesy and corny, but he was able to do that. Yeah, John Michael. Talk about turning somebody around. I love you, John Michael. If you ever see or hear this, you're a success story. Al has those success stories, and it's beautiful and magical, and it's so cool because of Al. All of us are together right now.
There's a lot of people in your life who tell you to be yourself and be everything's good and that they love you, but literally those words did not need to be said around this man. It was you were loved around him. There was no question about it.
Yeah, my wife and I were working together, and you saw us and you said, whenever you two are ready, I marry people for a living. And I was like, okay, Reverend Al. It all made sense, the Rev.
And he was right there center stage with that big old smile again. And how could anybody be anything but joyful with Al's face right in the middle of everything?
It was so beautiful, and you took it so seriously, and you made it into such a remarkable event, including all of our family, and we were all floating on a cloud for the whole day, and it was a huge part thanks to you.
Anytime we needed a hand, Al was always the first one there. He left behind a beautiful family and made incredible friends, and just everything he touched was epic.
He's the most imitated of all of our friends amongst our crew.
That rum cake, let me tell you, it was so tasty.
Because of all the love that everyone has for him. And I think the love that he showed to everybody, especially every time he talked about his daughters, he just had this light.
Come on, Peggy. Enjoy life today, because yesterday's gone and tomorrow may never come. Unless it is a total, extraordinary, extra passionate kind of love, it is a waste of time. There are too many mediocre things in life, and love should not be one of them. We love you all.
Thank you.
After seeing somebody like him live the way that he lived, I can't help but ask myself, and am I doing this shit right? You know, and that's a good check-in to check and say, like, am I living as good as he did? Am I being there for as many people as he was there for, and that he touched and loved and felt so beautiful with?
Al would drop whatever he was doing, and help whoever needed help.
Fuck yeah!
He would do it. And we were lucky enough to hang out with him for a small amount of time, and that was really grateful for all that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor.
So at home I have a whole huge stack of cards and letters and love notes from Al, and at the time he would just like leave them for me, and I would feel so special and so loved and so cared for, and like Al is just that guy who always has your back. And then of course now, like talking to everybody I know, everybody has a stack of love notes from Al, but it does not deter from how much they meant to me whatsoever. So I love you, Al. I miss you, honey.
He had like a real gentle power and a real eccentric and beautiful way to kind of cut right to the heart.
You know, you can count on one hand how many times I was around the man, but he was always such a joy. And I think maybe because of everything he'd gone through in his life, he metamorphosed into a person so full of empathy and caring and joy. And he just loved sharing that and making you feel so comfortable and welcome and loved when you were around him. And the last time we got to see him, which was 3 weeks before he passed away, he was just still so full of warmth and love and caring of how everybody else was feeling, knowing that they were saying their goodbyes to him.
One of my funnest memories, dude, was actually at High Sierra last year with Al. We watched Ghost Note, and it was fucking hilarious, dude. It's like the whole crowd's just like fucking in awe of this crazy band, right? And I was like, turned to us, going like, "Fucking see this shit? Like, fucking, this is the shit right here, you know?" And like, and after every song they finished, he'd just be like, "Fuck!" Like, he was so pumped. I'd never seen Al that pumped, dude. He was super, super pumped. But you know, man, I just am so grateful for him for like what he's given to our community. And he was such a facilitator in the festival and was there since day one. And like, we all probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Al, you know, like in so many ways. Yeah, I just love the shit out of him. I'm gonna miss him. But he's fucking the teacher, the shower, you know? And that's what we have from him. So thank you, Al.
This is for Al. Al, you will be sorely missed. I will miss our long chats and all the love you've always shown me over the years. And one of my favorite quotes that I ever say is, "Time's fun when you're having flies." And I heard that from you, and I'll never forget it, and it makes me chuckle every time I say it. So I have the most beautiful memories of you, and you will always be in my heart.
My first time ever meeting Papa, went up to Butterfly, was very excited to finally meet the legendary Al Muir. He'd been barbecuing for us like all afternoon, and it was great. And I grabbed my plate and I dished it all up like I do, no manners whatsoever. And what did I do? I fucking dropped the plate of delicious food all over the floor. Shatter. Shame. So many feelings going through my body at that moment. Was like, this is your best friend and this is what you did. And what did Al say? Well, honey, at the end of dinner, we'll break all the fucking plates. Thank you, Papa.
He would always show up, people say, but like he never went away. He was always there. The guy just didn't stop. He was like an ultimate dynamo, regardless of his workload or, you know, sheer exhaustion. He just would not stop. And it was just, man, what a beast. What an awesome human. So yeah, truly mankind. Blessed to know him.
I'm just so grateful to have known Al, you know, and he's just taught me to be more in the moment, just be in the moment and be grateful for everything. He's like, you got a girl in your life? And I was like, no, you know, no worries just came out. He's like, yeah, definitely no worries if you don't have a woman. And I thought that was great, you know, it was a real Al moment. But yeah, I got a lot of good moments with him, but I love him so much, and I'll always have him in my heart.
We love you, Al. We love you, Dino.
I'll see you on the other side, Al, and just know that everything you did just continues to ripple. I love you.
The thing is, we feel you now more than ever. And it's what I like to say is you're not gone and you're not forgotten. So we love you.
He was with me, didn't know me, but I love you, Al. You helped me in my darkest hour to save my partner. And here's Bobby. He's alive and well. And Al, thank you. Thank you forever.
I love you, man. We're all here in your honor. Help us all out from there. Namaste.
Al.
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 Al. No more. Al. 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 Say it. Sacred sound here. Sound. Al. 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 Al.
Al.